I don't believe that I... Let me think. It was such a confusing evening. I'm sorry. Yes, yes, perhaps I did step outside.
Mrs. Bandereet, fresh asphalt on your slippers indicates you wore them outdoors. Isn't that a little unusual?
In the cold light of reason, yes. But I was caught in the throes of panic, thinking an intruder might be in the house. I ran outside on impulse without any sense of my bearings. I did manage to find my way back home, and after several minutes, listening, felt I could risk going back and to phone for help. I'm sorry I did not remember this sooner.
That's all right. But my partner and I will need to have a look around, outside. Hey there, want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. Somebody was in too much of a hurry to use their eyes backing out. Good job, this looks clean. I don't have any hints for you right now. Mrs. Bandereet says she went outside, and these droplets are consistent with what she told us. Make that what she finally told us. Broken taillight, a fresh tread. Car backed up, bumped into the dumpster, then went up and over the curb and sped away. Excellent. There's our make and model. I don't have any hints for you right now.
No current address for Dwan in the system. No vehicle registered in his name, either. I'll let the boys know Mr. Dwan is a person of interest, but he may well have fled if he's involved. That's an easy one. Give me a sec to look it up. Vic had a legal prescription for the medication, strictly kosher. Once you got enough evidence, I'll hit up a judge.
I can't think of anything I haven't told you already.
Sure, I'll send a team right out. Textbook case of death by forceful, blunt instrument impact. 4 medium impact blows, latter 2 drawing blood. Heavy dose in the Vic system, explaining the lack of defensive wounds on his arms and hands. Mr. Banderit was in a deep sleep that simply became permanent. Well, the marks are consistent. The fire poker is almost certainly your murder weapon.
Looks like the two of you are off to a good start. Learning anything from your partner?
We're too busy actually investigating a case to figure out which one of us you are referring to. So, to fill you in, we've discovered a print belonging to the former eye doctor's business partner on the murder weapon. According to the wife, he drives a truck, and we found a tire tread at the scene, along with broken taillight fragments.
So you have a suspect, and a reasonable description of his vehicle. Have you hit up Brass for an APB yet?
We were just on our way over there.
Tell you what, since you two are doing such a fantastic job with the evidence, why don't you keep at it? I'll talk to Brass and have him call you when he gets a hit on your missing vehicle.
I've got nothing new to report on the Vic.
There's more we should do with that item before we can process it. There's more we should do with that item before we can process it. Hey there, want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. Were those trash cans there before? Or am I having eyesight trouble? I don't have any hints for you right now. Tiny tape like this, likely from an answering machine. Tape snapped, but that's no problem.
I can't think of anything I haven't told you already.
Mother, pick up. Pick up. Mother, I know you're listening. You have got to divorce that man. I'm not asking for my own sake, but for yours. Please, please leave him before he makes good on that threat. You can still be happy, Mother. And so can I.
Maybe things at the Banderit house were not as perfect as Mrs. Banderit wanted us to believe. I don't have any hints for you right now.
I should have mentioned that. I just did not want you to misunderstand, to think my daughter... She has always been an excitable girl. She overreacts. I wanted to spare my husband of that melodrama, so I cut the tape and threw it away, and told Bryant the tape had broken. Is any marriage perfect? Whatever small problems there might be, my marriage was sacred to me, and Bryant's word, his will, I obeyed, with love in my heart. My daughter was raised in this country and does not understand. Why, she lives right across the street. She is a wonderful daughter at heart. She welcomes me into her beautiful kitchen for lunch every day.
Hey there. Want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file.
It's about time you people came around. I've been on the phone all night trying to get some answers from the police. Have you found my father's killer?
No, Ms. Banderit. We're with the Las Vegas Crime Lab. We've come across an answering machine tape of you begging your mother to leave your father. What threat were you afraid your father might make good?
It wasn't like that. Not a threat of violence. My father was pushing me into marrying a man I do not love. The threat was to cut me off from my mother if I didn't do his old school bidding. Some choice, huh? Marry a man I detest, or never see my own mother again. His business partner? A disgusting little creature called a Darshtaiwan. I work with the creep at my father's practice. Manipulating little weasel, playing off an old friendship between our families to worm his way into my father's good graces. Finally, I learned Adarsh was nothing more than a common thief, stealing from our family. I told him resign or face exposure, but he laughed me off. He said he could handle my stupid father. Never thought he meant murder. Yes, credit card fraud. Using my father's Visa card to be precise. A snake. Right behind our backs. My father told me that Visa noticed suspicious activity and alerted him right away. I don't know if he suspected Adarsh, but I did, and I found proof in his apartment. Yes. I won't have you wasting precious time here when you could be rounding up that little rat, Adarsh.
Actually, it won't take but a moment to collect that footprint by the door. Or we could wait here till we get a warrant.
If that's what will get you out of here faster, take the footprint and take off.
Grissom put me onto that runaway Doc you're looking for. Well, when a black and white hit the siren over that busted tail, Doc Dewan got nervous and hit the gas. Chase hardly started before he stripped the curb and got pulled over. The doctor is currently in custody as a person of interest. You can talk to this charmer anytime you like. Just stop by my office. Got his truck, too.
I have nothing else to say to you.
Damn, the tire we needed for comparison got shredded in the police chase, and we got no warrant to search the interior. We need some other way to tie the truck to the crime scene. Hey there, want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. All right, we placed the truck out in front of the Vic's place, without the tire track evidence.
Busted light ties the truck to the street in front of the Vic's residence. That key unlocks the truck for a look-see.
We have a late model vehicle here, practically brand new. Still, I'd say Adar spruced up the interior, cleaned, vacuumed it, everything but the new car smell. So this is the memo Aji wrote. Locked. If we break in, the next warrant Brass will issue will be on us. Let's see what else we can find. This is a wake-up call. The slipper with the asphalt mark matches the muddy footprint, meaning Mrs. Bandery called on her daughter after discovering Mr. Bandery had bought it. These are emails confirming online purchases Adarsh made using the card. Email confirmations are normally sent by merchants as a safety precaution, but Adarsh had access to their computer, and he snagged them to cover his actions. I'll have Brass check in with Visa.
I called Visa, good folks over there, and they said Visa's continuous monitoring program detected suspicious activity Mr. Dwan was changing the shipping address, sending items to his home and back to India. Not your model employee. Footprint evidence provides a clean link between her home and the crime scene. Plus, we got a possible motive thanks to the answering machine tape. Enough for a warrant. He's on his way to interrogation now. Dr. Pradyut Bandarit was found murdered in his home earlier this evening.
Murdered? No, he was my dearest friend. He was to be my father-in-law. Oh my goodness gracious, such a terrible thing to have happened. Are you certain? Could there be, I hope, some horrible mistake? You use such harsh language to describe the smallest of misunderstandings. I am new to your country, and the laws and procedures here are unlike those in India. I plan to rectify the smallest of errors upon my return from Los Angeles. Oh my goodness gracious, yes. All has been arranged between the families. I am to marry Dr. Bandarit's most wonderful daughter, Adya. We are both excited to begin our new lives as Mr. and Mrs. Dewan.
Adia's excited, all right, but because her daddy was pushing her into this arranged marriage and threatening to separate her from her mother if she didn't cave.
It's a big leap we make together, and of course she has small moments of doubt. But the day will soon dawn when my dear Adya will acknowledge her father's wishes and understand my sincere deep affections. Let me try to think. I believe I was in my office. Yes, I worked late in the office. I'm catching up on my paperwork, you know. I left around 9 p.m. on my way to Los Angeles to visit friends for the weekend. This should be no surprise. Do I not visit on occasion the home of my esteemed employer, my future father-in-law? What memo?
The one from Adya, your bride-to-be, threatening to let her daddy know you'd been stealing.
Again, I must point out that what may look to you like stealing is a mere misunderstanding. My sweet and lovely Adya has the tiny fault of getting largely excited over the smallest of matters. As I say, I would have corrected these trivial mistakes.
And your car was at the scene, Doctor. Maybe he knew about your stealing and didn't find it so trivial.
You have such a negative view of such innocent things. We were in the Bandarit's living room when the good doctor informed his lovely wife that I would soon marry their daughter. We celebrated over tea and Mrs. Bandarit requested a fire. At this time I handled the poker to which you refer. I take perhaps foolish pride in the luxury vehicle I'm blessed to drive. I'm meticulous in my, upkeep. I keep it up, I keep it clean. I bought a portable vacuum to help in this crusade of cleanliness. Oh, let me think. I believe in my toolbox.
Mind if we take a look? We'll need your keys.
I'm honored to help you in your investigation.
Thanks. I'll hold on to him.
Please, I have told you everything.
Okay, I have unlocked the toolbox but didn't find any tools. Just cleaning supplies. My goodness gracious, but Dr. Dewan is neat. Hey there, want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. Hey there, want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. We can work with that on the assembly table.
Why do you stupid people insist on wasting time searching my house when I've already told you who to investigate? In the meantime, my mother is on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and the killer is running free. I don't have another word for you.
Cool. We work well when it's quiet. We'll start with your fingerprints.
Ugh.
Looks like Ms. Bandereed has a few more words for us after all. Secret ones, but words. You'll want a different tool for that. You're close. Try something similar.
I have nothing else to say to you.
Hey there. Want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file. Hey there. Want a hint? Glad to help. The hint is ready in your case file.
I do not know of any conflict. Adarsh was quite willingly subservient to my husband. Prayat did seem distracted, and I would say tense, over the last few days. I would ask him what troubled him, and he would only say, work.
Evidence indicates Dr. Dewan was stealing.
Well, Visa had contacted him about some kind of fraud, but Adarsh? I certainly would remember that. This may explain why my beloved Prayat was so tense and distracted of late. Adarsh? No. My husband and I rarely entertain. I would remember.
He claims he helped start a fire in your living room fireplace and got his fingerprints on the poker that way.
It is just barely possible Adarsh visited my husband here sometime while I was away, but I so rarely leave the house. If he had stopped by for business or on a social call, I'd surely remember. I can't think of anything I haven't told you already.
I don't have any hints for you right now. This little baby may mean we're now the proud owners of a complete teacup. Better confirm in the lab. Chip from Dr. Dewan's vacuum cleaner is a perfect match for the teacup found at the crime scene. Let's see him squirm politely out of this one. So our Vic was responsible for his wife's blindness. Bloody fingerprint belongs to the daughter. That puts her at the crime scene when her father was murdered. I don't have any hints for you right now.
Based on the blood evidence found in her home and our strengthened motive for the killing, as well as her bloody fingerprint at the crime scene, I'd say getting a warrant's a slam dunk.
All right. My mother was here. She came over right after discovering my father's body. That's where the blood in the sink must have come from.
Okay, but that doesn't tell us how your bloody fingerprint wound up in your parents' house, does it? When you learned your father botched your mother's operation, you saw red. You sneaked in and battered your father and left a bloody print on the way out. By the time your mother discovered the body, you'd already washed up at home in your sink.
That's all backwards and sideways. When my mother discovered my father's body, she freaked out. Hello, she's blind. So she ran over across to me, covered in blood. I left her there, went over to check on father, and of course took his pulse, which is how I got blood on my hand. Get it? I went back to my place and told Mom that Daddy was dead. Really dead. She wouldn't let me call the police. I don't know why, just in shock, I guess. I helped her wash up, and then she had me walk her back home, but then pleaded with me not to stay.
Your mother makes a habit of forgetting such little details.
My mother looks out for me. Doesn't yours? She's way overprotective, and in this case I just followed her wishes, because she was freaking out. She wanted to spare me, to keep me out of any investigation into this tragedy. But you have to believe me, you are wasting your time down this path. Adarsh, that evil troll, is your killer.
We'll ask the opinion of the evidence, if you don't mind.
So, you know our family secret? Yes. My mother suffered from a rare form of age-related macular degeneration. She needed a specialist, but my father wouldn't hear of it. Doing so would humiliate him. So he performed a surgery for which he was in no way qualified, and now my mother is nearly blind. I only recently found out, and I was angry as hell. But I swear I didn't kill him. He was a stupidly proud, often cruel man, but he was my father.
Nearly blind?
Yes. My mother has very limited sight. She's not 100% blind. I have nothing else to say to you.
He's on his way to interrogation now.
I sincerely doubt this is true. Surely this is a terrible misunderstanding.
Here's what we understand. A porcelain chip from a teacup in your vacuum matches a broken cup at the murder scene. We've got you covering up fraud, your fingerprint on the murder weapon, and your vehicle at the crime scene. It doesn't take 20/20 vision to bring you into focus as a suspect, Dr. Dewan.
Oh my goodness gracious, this does look terribly bad. But I am an innocent party in this guilty matter. I did not kill my good friend and colleague.
You're right, it does look terribly bad.
Please, listen. I'm new in this country. It takes much funds to start living in a new place. My colleague's daughter, she finds out in some devious fashion. She threatens to tell the good doctor unless I quit and run away. How could I consider this? I had agreed to marry the doctor's daughter. My family would be disgraced, would be devastated, so I drive to his house last night to bare my soul and to beg for forgiveness. The door I find open. No one answers my call. So I go inside. But it doesn't feel right. In the air, something forbidding. Still, I go up the stairs to the bedroom. And then I saw him, my benefactor, my friend, dead. I knew at once I will be the suspect. I panic and flee in my vehicle fast as I can.
That is a painful subject to me, and of no pertinence to this tragedy. Adia, angry with Bryant? Such nonsense. She adored her father, and he her.
We have reason to believe Adia recently learned of your husband's negligence and the loss of your eyesight.
You speak of private, personal matters that have no bearing on this tragedy. My daughter loved her father, and her father loved his daughter. The story begins and ends there, and I have nothing more to say.
I don't have any hints for you right now.
Well, there are degrees. You can't be a little bit pregnant, but you can be less than completely blind. Typically, patients with macular degeneration still have some peripheral vision. Amita has exudative macular degeneration, is found in about 10% of cases. Dense scar tissue can block out central vision severely. With older patients with age-related macular degeneration, laser therapy is on the increase. Low-energy laser doesn't vaporize tissues, rather heats them, a process not unlike welding. In this case, the doctor made things worse.